Rich Paul has become one of the most talked about celebrities in the world after his relationship with Adele made it to the news. However, Paul is much more than just Adele's boyfriend. He is an absolute force in the world of professional sports, but very few people know what he actually does. Hello and welcome to our channel. Today, we're going to tell you the story of Rich Paul and how he became the man he is today. So let's begin. Rich Paul had to start from a very lowly position. On the east side of Cleveland, where he grew up, there was no silver spoon in the house or any other benefit that would have helped him build one of the most successful agencies in sports. Paul's family ran a successful candy store in the neighborhood, and Paul lived on the second floor of the shop. Rich Paul Sr., who placed a high value on education, chose to send his son to Benedictine High School, a prestigious private Catholic high school located in the heart of Cleveland. Unfortunately, Paul Sr. would not live to see the results of his hard work because he succumbed to cancer in the year of 1999. The loss of a parent during senior year would have caused many children to spiral out of control, but the 18-year-old was able to keep control and graduate from high school. Throughout his childhood, Paul encountered a variety of difficult obstacles and failures. As a result of his mother's struggles with substance abuse, his grandmother and great uncle were responsible for his upbringing. During an in-depth interview in March with The New Yorker, he shared his thoughts by saying, "I was never really angry, but I was definitely protective, and I was absolutely unhappy in a lot of ways. Because when you're young, you observe how other children interact with their parents, and you want to have the same kind of relationship." But none of this could hold Paul back. Paul started getting involved in the purchasing and selling of throwback jerseys after he realized that the conventional route through college wasn't going to work out for him. Throwbacks were not widely marketed at that time, and despite their enormous popularity, they had not yet grown enough mainstream attention to warrant enormous production runs. Paul would frequently make the trip to Atlanta and back, collect as many throwbacks as he could, then drive back to Cleveland and sell them out of the trunk of his car. Paul had an inherent understanding of what people desired. His knack for knowing which jerseys to stock and which players to carry made him a hero in the industry. That was exactly what took place when a chance meeting at the Akron Canton Airport would end up being the turning point for everything. LeBron James was the most talked about young athlete in the world in 2002, despite the fact that he had not yet entered the National Basketball Association. Dozens of magazine covers, proclamations that the next great one was arriving, and the prediction that Akron would produce the next Michael Jordan was a worldwide story. On an early morning in the spring, LeBron was at the Akron Canton Airport getting ready to board a flight to Atlanta so he could watch the NCAA Final Four. There, he was distracted by a slim young man whose jersey was considerably superior to his own when he was wearing a Michael Vick jersey that he had hand-painted just for the trip. It was a Warren Moon Oilers jersey that was spotless, authentic, and powder blue in color, and the opportunity to own it was too good to pass up. Rich Paul, who just so happened to be wearing that jersey that day, was happy to tell LeBron James about his throwback business. LeBron James approached the man, anxious to know where he acquired such an incredible throwback, and Rich Paul was eager to tell James about his business. LeBron needed to get his hands on his merchandise, so he provided Paul his contact information. Before long, LeBron was purchasing all of his jerseys from the man he had met in the airport. They initially connected over a Magic Johnson Lakers jersey and a Joe Namath Rams jersey, but their friendship swiftly developed into something much deeper, and the two of them grew close very quickly. A very limited number of people are allowed into the inner circle of elite athletes, despite the fact that these athletes rely on a vast community of supporters. In a society where so many people are willing to put on a false front, the most trusted and reliable counsel are the ones that players count on. When it came to LeBron James, he relied on his childhood friends Maverick Carter and Randy Mims more than anyone else. However, this was soon opened up to Rich Paul, who had transcended simply selling jerseys to the future star and became a trusted confidant. Maverick Carter and Randy Mims were LeBron James' closest friends growing up. Each member of the triumvirate contributed in their own unique way to LeBron James' overall support system. LeBron James and his inner circle decided that they were ready to launch their own sports agencies after spending years gaining experience at CAA and watching Rose negotiate LeBron's contract extension with the Cavaliers in 2006. In 2012, Paul and James founded the company Klutch Sports and parted ways with CAA. They also began making plans for James's contract with the Miami Heat to expire in the summer of 2014. By surrounding themselves with intelligent people, like the contract expert Mark Termini, Klutch rapidly became the most popular new agency for NBA players. Because of LeBron's star power and Paul's innate talent for salesmanship, the agency was a formidable force in the basketball world. According to an article published by Forbes on October 21, 2019, Klutch Sports Group has been able to bring in $32.6 million in commissions and currently manages contracts worth $814 million. Due to the significant amount of attention that Paul was receiving from the sporting world, the controversy was bound to ensue. In the month of August 2019, the NCAA voted to implement a rule that stipulates agents who represent collegiate athletes must hold a degree from an accredited university or institution. LeBron James and the rest of the athletic world have collectively referred to the contentious new criteria as the Rich Paul rule, despite the fact that the moniker was never made clear. Because the sports agent did not have a bachelor's degree, he appeared to be singled out for special attention. In addition to this, he was responsible for top prospect Darius Bazley's decision to forego his scholarship at Syracuse University and instead accept an internship position at New Balance as a direct result of the broken system that existed inside the NCAA. Paul would not give up without a fight and wrote an opinion piece in which he discussed his ideas on the new standards that the NCAA has established for agents. Within 6 hours of the publication of Paul's article, the NCAA revised the standards for agents. It only goes to show how powerful, influential, and respected Paul has become in the sport as a result of his accomplishments. In the middle of 2019, Klutch Sports Group entered into a partnership with the United Talents Agency, also known as the UTA. Paul identifies UTA as an established global powerhouse due to the agency's knowledge and resources in the entertainment business. Paul was given the role of head of the new sports division at UTA as a result of the company's expansion into the sports business. He will continue to run Klutch Sports while still fully retaining autonomy and authority over his new responsibilities. The most recent development of Paul and Klutch Sports' expansion plans includes the formation of a football division, which was accomplished through the acquisition of Revolution Sports Agency. Although there is still a great deal to be said about what Paul is capable of accomplishing in these other disciplines, it is undeniable that the passion he possesses to motivate his athletes and establish them in a culture of unparalleled professionalism is something that can be anticipated. A young Paul drew the attention of LeBron James when he was wearing a Warren Moon jersey in an airport almost 19 years ago. This time, it was an older and wiser Paul who got the notice of one of the biggest music performers on the planet while they were dancing. At a birthday celebration a few years ago, Adele and Rich Paul crossed paths for the first time, and their first conversation took place on the dance floor. However, it was not love at first sight. The two were civil to one another and eventually became friends. However, Adele said to Oprah during her television special, the chemistry between them did not begin to develop until they had a business lunch together. Both of them were interested in one another. Adele has praised Paul's intelligence and his work ethic towards his clients, calling him hilarious, very funny, and very, very brilliant. Paul, for his part, has kept a low profile on the relationship. However, he is the type of man who values his personal space and discretion in general. Despite this, the move has propelled Rich Paul beyond the realm of sports and into the public eye on a global scale as a result of his relationship with Adele. The two have been seen attending Lakers games together, as well as other locations in Hollywood, marking the very first occasion that Paul has had to deal with paparazzi on his own without LeBron by his side. In March last year, Paul made the announcement that he would be publishing his first memoir, titled Lucky Me. Reportedly, the coming-of-age story will be published by Rocklit 101, the same publishing house that J-Rock Z's Nation is using to steer the direction of Rock Nation. Well, all of Paul's hard work has paid off. The active sports agent has amassed a fortune as a result of his transactions involving billions of dollars. According to the projections provided by Celebrity Net Worth, as of the year 2021, Paul has raked in a staggering $100 million through various sports-related dealings. He doesn't even have a college degree. After the NCAA decided that they would no longer require agents to have a bachelor's degree, Paul's already substantial net worth reportedly increased by a factor of 2 in 2019, as reported by The Sun. The new standard operating procedure was given the name the Rich Paul Rule. But like we mentioned before, the rule was dropped after Paul wrote a scathing response. In the end, despite the fact that Paul made a name for himself in the NBA, it's reasonable to think that this is merely the tip of the iceberg as he prepares to take over the rest of the sporting world. So that's all the time we had today, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon on your way out. See you all next time.